Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Recruiting in Today's Market, Systems for Success, with MAPS coach, Rich Rector. Please note this webinar is being recorded, and you will automatically receive the webinar recording. If you have questions for your coach, please type them into the questions box located in your webinar taskbar. Following the webinar, if you have any questions about today's call or coaching programs, please email us at fasttrack@kw.com. That's fasttrack@kw.com. That's all for me. Rich, take it away.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for everybody that's on the call today, the webinar, and we are recording it, so we'll be able to send that out too. For those of you that have missed it, going to be together here for about a half an hour. I want to share with you some tips, some strategies, some thoughts. So the first thing I want to do to talk to you about is, and you guys know this, is that we have 4 months left in the year, right? I mean, can you believe that? Next week, we'll be going into the last 4 months of the year. So what does that mean, guys? That means that it's retention and recruiting season. Retention and recruiting season. So retention and recruiting season means what? Means that we need to be focused, right, on the opportunities that we're seeing in the market right now with our competition, recruiting and going after our agents. I think that we all are seeing that, right? And we also want to take advantage of the opportunities that were on the recruiting side, because fight fire with fire. This is when agents move. Okay, this is when agents, tend to move, and we want to be in front of that. My opinion is, guys and gals, is that we're going to see more movement that we've seen in the next 6 months in a long time. Why is that? Why is that? Well, for a couple reasons. One is because we have the recruiting seasonality, right? We have the recruiting seasonality, meaning that the fourth quarter is when, and to include the first quarter, is when agents are starting to think about, wow, what am I going to do differently? This is, kind of the new normal. I don't see things changing. What am I going to do going into the new year? Right? I've either had a good year, or I haven't had a good year, or I'm not sure that the market's going to hold, or whatever the case may be. And they're starting to think about, what is it that I'm going to do, and changes in the air. And a lot of people subscribe to the mindset that I need to change my environment to change my results. So that's
Rich.
Yes.
So sorry to interrupt you, but I am not seeing your PowerPoint on the screen.
Okay. Are you seeing it now?
No, it was up and then it was down.
Okay. Well, thank you for telling me that. Okay.
Yeah, I have a view of just your desktop.
Okay. So does that help or no?
No, I'm still not seeing it.
All right. All right. So I will let me just keep going here, and we will figure that piece out as we go. So with that, again, this is the time when agents are going to move, and we want to really focus on what is it that we're going to do tactically, right? What is it that we're going to do tactically to get in front of this, right? What is it we're going to do tactically to get in front of this? And we've got to put together a plan specifically geared, to that. So my question to you is, what's your strategy? What's your plan, right? And do you have one? Have you put together, a 1-3-5 for the end of the year? And if not, what does that need to look like, right? What's that 1-3-5 need to look like to put you in a position to really finish strong? So that's the main thing that we want to look at. Let me see if this works with pulling up my screen. And then I think that we've got this figured out. So let's see. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, there it is. Thank you,
There it
Rich.
is. Great. Okay. So what are some of the tips, the things that we should be looking at is events, right? Obviously, we have MegaCamp right around the corner. Great opportunity for us to pack the house, right? This is the biggest event probably in the history of real estate, guys. I don't know if you realize that NAR gets about 25,000 people to attend their events. We're expecting almost 50,000 people at MegaCamp. So this will make it the biggest event ever in the history of real estate. Yes, it's going to be digital, which makes it affordable, and also it makes it more convenient for people, right? Not having to travel and not having to go through the cost of a traditional MegaCamp. So this is an opportunity for us to really pull out all the stops and get people there. Look at doing, things like they talked about on the Monday growth call. Buy one, get one, or bring one, get one, meaning you bring a guest, we'll give you a ticket. You bring a guest, we'll, cut your expenses down or pay your expenses for so many months, your office fee. Look at what you can do to take MegaCamp and use that as leverage going into recruiting season to really, again, catapult this recruiting opportunity that you have. You don't want to miss it, guys, at all. So how can you mobilize at your growth committee? How can you mobilize agents? What about affiliates, leveraging them to help you? So let's look at that at MegaCamp strategy right around the corner. Inviting agents to events, big strategy. What other events do you have? Do you have a monthly event that cappers want to come to? Panels, masterminds, right? What are you doing there? What kind of recruiting marketing are we pushing out, right? Are you telling your story? Are you using videos? Are you using smart plans? Are you talking about our initiatives? This is the time when you want to record some videos and get your story out there. Agents winning using, the Facebook lead accelerator. Agents winning using Command. Agents winning using our advanced agent education, all these incredible classes, the things that we've done as a company and you've done locally since the pandemic started, right? Get the story out that we are positioned to help agents succeed and to thrive as we move into the new market, right? And we need to tell that story fast and we need to tell it consistently. And there's so many different messages that you can put out there, from, again, technology, to education, to coaching, to the initiatives that we have, things like Keller Mortgage giving agents competitive advantages and all those things. So let's really focus on marketing and telling our story. All right, we talked about leveraging MegaCamp. What's that need to look like? Okay, what's your goal? Do you have a goal for MegaCamp? Do you have a goal for your agents, for guests? How can we incentivize them? We talked about that. So let's also look at leveraging Tech Tuesdays and Wealth Building Wednesdays. We've got so much on the calendar that you can plug into. I know that the word is that, hey, I might be zoomed out and people are tired and kids are starting school and all that stuff, guys. Listen, we're leaders, okay? And we have to lead through that. At least we have events, because a lot of our competition doesn't have events and doesn't have all these Zooms and all this incredible education with some of the top people in the world that are doing the KWRI daily live streams and the things like Wealth Building Wednesdays, right, and Tech Tuesdays and so forth, MegaCamp. So we've got to really, be the leader and lead from the front on that, and understand that our job is to continue to bring people to water and get them to attempt to drink, right? And that's going to come from putting all these events in front of them and encouraging and selling them on why they need to attend, because they really do, and it's going to help them with their mindset, especially as the market shifts. Again, back to MegaCamp, I mean, think about it. In the year that we've had the biggest changes ever, not only in the world but in our industry, right? And going to be in the market. This is the year that you need to be in the know. If you're in real estate, right? You can't afford to miss MegaCamp in terms of being in the know, having some of the top economists, Gary Keller, some of the top agents in the world sharing strategies, tactics of what's worked during the pandemic and how they're positioning themselves for the next market. And we have to get that message out there and carry that flag, guys. You're gonna wish that you did, if we're buying into the excuses that the agents have. So really look at that, okay? Independent brokers and MAOs, mega agent offices, we're seeing a lot of movement right now. We're seeing a lot of appointments happening with independent brokers. It doesn't matter if they're a one-man band, right, or they have 50 agents. Reach out to those independent brokers, because let me just say this. The independent brokers, the people that own offices, right, are definitely losing some sleep about what the future holds. They don't have their head in the sand like a lot of the real estate agents do because they're busy right now. The owners of the companies have concern. They understand that there's going to be an economic challenge and fallout from everything that's happened this year. And they also understand that we're due for a market correction. They also understand that there's millions of people not making their mortgage payments. And they understand that that's going to show up at some point, and transactions and an election year and all that stuff can be impacted, and that what we're seeing right now is probably not going to sustain itself, right? And since they're holding the bag with all the expenses and the liability, trust me when I tell you that they have some concerns about it. So reach out to them. They're the ones that'll be more open to talking and less busy to not talking, like the agents are saying right now, because of that fear and concern that they have. All right. So same thing with mega agent offices. Top agents are also concerned. Okay, they're not naive. I'm talking about the mega agents that are doing a lot of business. They are also concerned because they're good business people and business owners as well of their teams, and they recognize that this can't sustain itself. They're killing it right now, but they also know that the day's coming, and they are open because we're seeing a lot of movement there too, and a lot of appointments of people that wouldn't give us the time of day that are mega agents that are now starting to talk to us because they're getting in position for what the future is going to look like, so they're not blindsided. Also right now, again, tips, we've got to be disruptive. We've got to be disruptive. Look at expansion as an opportunity as well, right? You're going to see a lot of these top people at MegaCamp, and you've got an opportunity to find out which expansion teams are having success, talk to the other team leaders, right? And how things are working. So make sure you take advantage of MegaCamp, because it's going to be set up in a way where you're going to have the ability to really communicate with your peers. And I think you saw that on Monday. So be prepared for that. So a couple of quick things on this next slide. The recruiting system. Okay, it says 10 topics, but really it's a recruiting system. So all great recruiters, guys, have a system. They have a system, meaning that they're not just winging it. And here are the 10 key components of the system, and really their level of success is determined by their level of mastery of these 10 key components. All great recruiters have a predictable recruiting plan. All great recruiters understand their target list and what strategies, recruiting strategies, are most effective for those target groups, meaning that new agents obviously are different strategies than mega agents. And people that are quarter and half cappers are different strategies than cappers and top producers. So do you know who your targets are, and what are your strategies on targeting those different groups? Next, number 3, all great recruiters understand the language, behind recruiting. They understand the language to set appointments. They understand the scripts. They understand the needs analysis. They understand the 10-step presentation and how to present our value propositions without overselling them and using questions to create self-discovery, right? They know and they have learned how to close and how to handle objections, right? There's only about 5 objections that we get, right? There's a handful you get on setting an appointment, and there's a handful that you get when you close. I don't want to move. I'm busy. I'm happy where I'm at. I like my broker, right? Your compensation model is more than I'm paying now. I mean, that's about it, right? So we just need to learn the answers to those. So great recruiters have mastered that component. Number 7 I wrote down is great recruiters have a master of their schedule and their time. They track their numbers, monitor their progress. It's a business. It's predictable, just like top producers, right? Top producers know how much time it takes to generate a lead, how many people they have to talk to generate a lead, how many leads it takes to get a transaction and a closing, right? And so they can create predictability, right? And a rate of return based on those numbers and knowing how to, plus that up or to refine those numbers. So are you running your market center and your business like a business, like top producers are? Next, I wrote down, you've got to have a great lead follow-up system. Have to have a great lead follow-up system. What's your system look like? 70% of your hires will join you during the lead follow-up phase. 70, guys, 70%. What's your system? What do you send them? What do you say? How often? All great recruiters have a follow-up system because they understand that that's where the heavy lifting is, right? You've done all the work to get the appointment. You had the appointment, did the needs analysis, did the 10-step presentation, right? You closed and they didn't join, okay? And it's like, now what? Well, 70% of the people are in that phase. They're in that phase. So what are you doing to follow up with them? Have you scheduled lead follow-up time every day in your schedule? I find that many of the team leaders aren't doing that they fall short there. They're focusing on new appointments and they fall behind on their lead follow-up, which is where the real money is, guys. So think about that. Number 9, great recruiters have developed an agent transition and orientation system, right? Meaning that when the agent says yes, the recruit says yes, that's when the real work starts. We have to coach them out of their exit interview. We have to script them on what to say to their broker. We have to simulate the experience of the red carpet treatment they're going to get and the guilt trip and all those things so they're prepared. Because if you've been doing this long enough, you've experienced where at the 11th hour somebody said they're coming and then they don't come because the broker saved them. So how is your transition system? And we're going to go through that, and that's something that the agents have top team leaders have mastered. And then having a great orientation system, which is their experience. Are they having a wow experience when they join you, right? Or have we fumbled through it? The cards, weren't ordered, the phones weren't set up, right? They don't have their signs, right? All those things. So what's that orientation process and transition process look like? And then lastly, great recruiters have leverage with their hires, meaning they're turning one hire into 3. One hire into 3. I have a 12-point plan that will help you and show you how you can turn one hire into 3. You hire a market share agent, you hire an R2 agent, you should be able to get 3 hires from that agent over about a 120-day period if you follow the system, right? It's just like having a new listing as an agent. If you do certain things, you can create additional business off that listing. So the same thing holds true for what we do. Some of the recruiting sources, guys, that top recruiters have mastered, that we're also going to be going through in depth as well as the system we just went through in the Rockstar Recruiting Program starting next week, is calling, mastering phone calling. In fact, one of the pieces to the program that starts next week is we do weekly live webcam prospecting, where you can show up and lead generate with other team leaders, and I work with you on the phones and help you with your scripting and help you refine your appointment setting. And the people that show up to that, by the way, have tripled their appointment setting rate. The ones that diligently show up every week and really let me work with them and learn from the other team leaders have really elevated their appointment setting. Looking at agent referrals, right? Agent referrals. What are you doing to get more referrals from your agents? Are you teaching profit share? Do you know how to teach profit share? How are you leveraging and how are you mobilizing your people? Recruiting events, we talked about that. What kind of events are you hosting, and are they attractive to other agents? Are they attractive? Do people, the cappers want to attend, right? Are your agents attending? Do they want to bring guests? That's going to show you the strength of your training calendar. Co-broke transactions. Are you contacting the agent on the other end of the deal, right? Broker tours, open houses. I realize that that's have changed a lot with the pandemic, right? But at some point, and some of you in some states may still have open houses. They may be still doing broker tours, getting out and seeing people, right? Leveraging the hires. We talked about that, turning one hire into three. Social media, Facebook, video, texting, websites. What are you doing to tell your story? The marketing we talked about, testimonials, smart plans, the drip campaigns, right? The hire announcements, your lure numbers, how you're beating the market, how you're winning, how agents are winning, and also invitations to events. Licensing school for new agents, right? What are you doing if you have a new agent strategy? What are you doing to cast a huge net with the talent that is out there right now getting into our industry because of what's happened with unemployment during the pandemic? We're seeing some highly, highly talented people enter into real estate. So what are you doing there? Do you have a state licensee list? Are you calling those people? Are you doing career seminars? Are you leveraging a licensing school? Okay, so some of those things. Again, leverage. Number 10, let's not miss that piece. What are you doing to leverage? You're hearing more and more about leverage. Do you have a virtual assistant? Do you have an ATL? Who's your agent services? You know, again, your DFI, MCA, ALC. Part of this program that's starting next week, you can invite and have all of those people that are helping you recruit plug into the calls, plug into the program for one registration. So they're all included. Talk about getting your people mobilized and all on the same page and scripts that they can use and showing up for accountability. This is a great leveraging tool, this program that's starting next week. But again, leverage for you. As you move through the last 4 months of the year and into the new year, what kind of leverage do you need? Right? You've heard a lot about Cyber Recruiter. We've got 150 market centers using the VAs. You know, what's your staff look like during the pandemic? Right? Do we need to reallocate their job duties and have them help you with recruiting? So take a look at some of those things. Here's some great scripts that I can post and I can send to you. We've got a tremendous amount of scripts. I've written a lot of scripts during the pandemic, you know, and we've pivoted a lot with some of the things that we're doing. Lead accelerator. People want leads and listings right now. The ones that are saying, hey, I'm too busy to meet, talk to them about leads and listings. That's what they want. Everybody needs listings, right? Appointment setting scripts for top producers. You know, recognize them for their production. A lot of them have picked up their production in the last 3 to 4 months. Are you on track for your goal? Do you feel like you've reached your potential? What's your vision for your business? MegaCamp script. We have a MegaCamp smart plan that I can send you. We have MegaCamp scripts that we've written that are great. Okay. Here's some of the marketing, a sample of some of the marketing, right? We've created all kinds of marketing in command that you can use. Created Facebook lead accelerator recruiting ads that come with the program that starts next week. Here's some of the key topics don't know if you can see that we're going to be going through in the program. Not only those 10 key components of mastery on the recruiting system, but we're going to talk about the 5 conversations, the tech audit, the people assessment, 30, 30, 40, right? Indies. We're going to talk about expansion, the things that the leadership has been talking about. We're going to talk about retention. We're going to talk about mindset, right? We're going to talk about the market center of the future, the productivity coach and director of the future, the 3 models that Gary's been talking about. Okay, we're going to be going through all of that. So next Thursday, September 3rd, can you believe it's already September? We're starting the next new Rockstar recruiting program, right? New. We've got all kinds of new material, new scripts, as I just showed you a few of them, right? And that we're going to be going through. If you'd like to be included in that, go to the MAPS site today to register. We have limited space because we do the webcam prospecting, right? So the next class isn't going to be until after the first of the year in March. So this is the time to jump in because it's recruiting season, and let's get your team plugged in as well, all for that $199 price, okay? If you need anything, you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Feel free to text me. Feel free to call me. Again, here's what the program's about. You get 12 calls, 1-hour calls that we're actually going to do webinars like this. You get all the scripts, skills, videos I've recorded on the needs analysis and the recruiting presentation. And then we're going to be doing, as I mentioned, you're going to get weekly live webcam prospecting opportunities that you can plug into as well. So that's what the program is for next week. Hopefully you got some value from today's, call and some tips and some things to think about as you move through the last 4 months of the year. Any questions, you can throw them in the chat. Let's see. Don't see anything specific. You guys know how to get a hold of me. So, let me know if there's anything that you need. And thank you so much for your time and for being on this call. And let's finish the year strong. Let's get people to MegaCamp. We'll talk to you soon, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.